Good evening, everybody. It is Hugo Quintanilla here with another live. Thank you all so much for participating. Happy Galentine's Day, ladies. Happy pre-Valentine's Day, everybody else. I hope that everyone is having fun with their friends and family and enjoying themselves. Today, we are going to be covering another couples topic. So I hope that you all are having a great day. Give me one second. I want to put something up here for you all. If you all have any questions, comments, concerns, please feel free and leave them on Instagram. We'll be talking to the chat over there. Today's lesson is going to be Harmony at Home, a couple's guide to seamless coexistence in a shared split space. So if you would like to share this with your significant other, please do. This is going to be a guide to help couples they are thinking about moving in together. It can be a great way to have. Some dialogue and some talk about how both of you can bring your best selves to the table and coexist together. So let's jump into it. Today, number one is going to be communication is key. Discuss expectations, habits, preferences, and openly to ensure you both are on the same page and are living together. Um, Communication is one of those things that it can never go without saying how important it is. Open dialogue, feeling comfortable, being able to talk about these things openly, even the hard topics, are things that in the long run will benefit both members. So please take the time and have a check in every week, every few days. See how your relationship and your partner is doing, because coexisting and co-living with someone can be difficult and trying at times, and we don't want to make this, especially at the beginning, be more of a burden than it has to. But if there are red flags, we want to make sure that we address them as soon as possible, and communication can be a great way to do that. Number two, create a budget together. Establish a joint budget that includes rent, utilities, groceries, and other shared expenses. This helps avoid financial conflicts. And we've said this before, one of the biggest reasons why we see couples strain in the relationship is because of finances. We've had housing and we've had health issues as well. So, finances is one of those things that can be in your control. Not spending and living outside of your means is within the possibilities of anyone. So please take your time to create a budget, not just for yourself, but for your relationship and for your relationship's goals, because working together as a unit, both of you can do a lot more than individually trying to go after the same mission. But at the end of the day, both of you know your relationship better than I do, and that is the important thing. Any of these suggestions have to work for you and your partner. Number three, define responsibilities. Outline household responsibilities like cleaning, cooking, and grocery shopping to ensure a fair distribution of tasks. If you spread out the work, no one's going to feel like the other person's taking advantage of anybody. Now, I know that some people would make the argument for, hey, I'm a breadwinner, or hey, I'm a stay at home parent. I shouldn't have to do this. I shouldn't have to do that. Again, I say this with the expectation that you will take this and start having a dialogue, and from there start talking about these topics. So this has to work for you and your partner. And if this is a particular aspect that doesn't work for your relationship because one person does take care of the house and the other person does take care of the finances, then we can look at some other possible tips. But really, this is more geared towards the couple that have been dating for a while and are now thinking about maybe joining their assets together, pre-marriage or maybe post-marriage, but deciding to move together for the first time. Ultimately, not probably for a couple that has spent some time together and has already shared their assets. You are, or married for that fact, because you are probably further down the line where you are having children and that. This is more for the couple that pre-children, but you'll see a lot of tips that will benefit couples at any stage. Number four, blend your styles. And this is exactly what I mean. Merge your decorative styles to create a shared living space that reflects both of your personalities. The worst thing in the world is having a space that is shared where it doesn't really feel like it's a shared space. It can be really annoying in the sense that, a person cannot feel represented there. And it could really just hold some resentment and, it could be not a great time. What we want is everyone feeling included and feeling at home in their home. So, um, taking design choices and design cues from each other is a great way to share in that experience of de- decorating a home together, which can be a lovely couple building experience. Number five, declutter and organize. Before moving in, declutter unnecessary items and organize belongings to make the transition smoother. Remember, we need to consolidate just like you were selling or moving out in the house. You've heard that before. We need to declutter and get organized so that we know what we're bringing to the table, as well as what is ours versus theirs if, say, the relationship ever does go south. Having an inventory of items is seems a little excessive, but when it comes to something like this, it's probably great to have something like that. So working that out before you move can really limit on moving with excess things, and especially if these are things that you're inevitably gonna be doing away with, it could be all the better that you get rid of them now sooner than later. Number six, respect personal space. Understand and respect each other's need for personal space and downtime within your shared living environment. It can be so aggravating to have someone in your face all day long. When I was in college, I lived in a dorm room that they called a quad, where basically four roommates would all share a space, share one room. It was very hard at times because there were points in time when, you just were never alone. And having someone constantly in your space, not respecting your space, can really put a strain on the relationship. So, making sure that you're respecting your partner, making sure you're still going out on date nights, making sure you're still taking time to consider the other person's input, these are all things that should be done on the regular basis. Check in with your partner, because a healthy relationship is a relationship that is a shared experience. Because remember, we're not in a vacuum here in a relationship. This is a two-way street, and that's why communication is number one. Number seven, discuss long term goals. Talk about your long term goals as a couple, including future living arrangements, career plans, and family planning. Really, these are the questions that you should be discussing early on in the dating process. But when you're discussing what it's like to live with each other, these are all things that will inevitably come up. At some point, one partner or the other partner will probably want to solidify the relationship and get married, at which point you will have to make a decision to either move the relationship forward or let it go by the wayside. So, hashing these things out might be, something worth looking into prior to moving in. It sometimes you move in and then this becomes an issue later on. So, it all comes with a grain of salt to basically understand that, hey, more than anything else, you're going to really get to know this person. Probably after the first 90 days, you're really going to see a person's true colors and their true character. So I would say take your time, get to know your partner, get to know each other, understand each other's living styles and living arrangements, and really take it all in, because you could, more than anything, really avoid a long term decision if you take your time and in the beginning. Because even if you move in together, it's not the end all be all. If you decide to further and progress the relationship, then of course, we're talking about a longer commitment. So, number eight, establish house rules. Define house rules together, covering aspects like guests, quiet hours, and other expectations to avoid misunderstandings. When you are starting out in a situation like this, you could be still as roommates, quote unquote. It still could be a little bit tough to join your forces together. But if you feel comfortable, then, little by little, you'll start to understand, hey, this is kind of how we do things. This is kind of how what works. And again, communication is key. Asking before lamenting is another very easy way to avoid yourself a lot of drama, because worst thing to do is having someone have the expectation of, hey, I'm going to come back to my quiet home, eat something, go to sleep, just to come home and find a room full of people, guests, and having to entertain. It can really put a lot of strain on a relationship, and we don't want to cause more problems in a relationship. Really, relationships are hard enough as they are, with all the other issues that they could arise. So make those house rules known so that there is no question that, hey, we've talked about this. And if those rules are being constantly transgressed, then crossed, and that line crossed, then you really you have to take that into consideration. Number 9, emergency planning. Discuss emergency plans, including what to do in case of an unexpected event, and ensure you both have access to important documents. In case you need to run out of the property, it is important that you both have your important documents locked away in a safe or in some sort of quick device where you can, quick, release device where you can actually take the items and go with you, in case of a fire. If both of you need to know where your most important documents are and your most important assets are, in case there ever is a major issue. When an emergency does arise, knowing this can really save your life and also save um, some of what you've worked so hard to create, your documents. And nothing is worth more than your life. So let me preface that, first and foremost. Your life and your safety is the most important thing. So make sure that you are okay. But if you have time, if you can save these documents, if you can gather these things together, if you can have a plan for this, you will save yourself such trouble trying to recuperate these documents after the fact. And after a fire, yes, everything could be recovered, but it's still a headache. So think about that. And last but not least, number 10, celebrate milestones. Celebrate the milestone of moving in together, whether it's with a special dinner, a weekend getaway, or another shared activity. You're in a relationship. This is part of being together as one. So do not forget that, yes, it is a little bit of a headache. Yes, it can be expensive. Yes, it can be scary and daunting, and you're getting to know this person really through and through, all their ins, all their outs, their mannerisms, the way of being. So be kind to yourself, be kind to them, communicate. And if you feel overwhelmed, say it. The worst thing you can do is express yourself to someone and have them level with you that they don't understand, at which point you can really just have a discussion about where you are. But, I think everything has a solution as long as you decide to look for one. So be solution oriented and be proactive in your solutions, because otherwise you'll have a situation where you'll wake up, 10 years later, and have to walk away from something that's a little bit harder to walk away with than a 2 year or 1 year lease. So to recap, today the 10 things for couples planning on moving in together for the first time that they can do are: 1, keep communication as key; 2, create a budget together; 3, define responsibilities; 4, blend your styles in decor; 5, declutter and organize your personal belongings before moving in together; 6, respect personal space; 7, discuss long-term goals; 8, establish house rules; 9, emergency planning; and 10, celebrate milestones. Remember, open communication and mutual respect are essential for successful transition to living together, enjoying this exciting new chapter in your relationship. So take your time, be kind with each other, be patient with each other, especially if this is your first time doing this. Not too many people end up moving too many times with too many people. So, take this all with a grain of salt. But more than anything else, respect each other, pay your rent on time, and work together. I wish you all the best of luck. Have a great Valentine's Day. Um, if you are celebrating with someone, I hope you enjoy. And yeah, I hope that everyone has a great evening, and I will talk to you all tomorrow. Thank you so much for tuning in. Again, check out the replays on Facebook, YouTube, twitch.com, X, and LinkedIn. I appreciate you all for tuning in, and I will catch you all tomorrow. Thank you so much, and yeah, I'll see you soon.